what amazes me with all this is the evolution of expectations for Drake Maye. Pre-draft,
yes,
everyone knew he was a project. Everyone knew he was developmental.
Preach.
And I've done this. I'm going to pull up my pre-draft report when I put my videos together for Nesson. And
Let me hear it.
Here was my ending on Drake Maye.
All right.
I went through the highs, man.
Yeah.
His ceiling is Justin Herbert. Great. That's why you draft him.
Okay.
Here's his floor and what the red flags are.
Okay.
Drake Maye, this is what I wrote back leading up to the draft. Drake Maye lacks processing speed. Drake Maye is developmental. He may have to sit a year or two for a team that doesn't have a left tackle or a wide receiver. Maye landing in New England would be less than ideal. That's what people knew with the expectations were going in. And with those expectations, you don't write off a rookie 2 padded practices in. And I would just like to take people back to day 1 of training camp when I was there. They're doing one-on-ones. They're doing warm-ups. Drake Maye gets a go in 11-on-11, 7-on-7s. And then he lets go of a frozen rope to Jalen Reagor down the right sideline, 40 yards, touchdown, dart.
You were there.
And I said, man, that's the flash you want to see. It's all about him consistently putting it together. He's going against the 1s and 2s in practice. You know what Joe Milton is going against? The 3s and 4s. Drake Maye is going against starters with a backup offensive line with Antonio Mafia at center, who's never played the position before in Division I football or in the NFL and is entering his second year in the league.
Right.
Pads on, working with a backup offensive line, a center that never played the position before, and a center that can't even get a shotgun snap off. He's going against Kyle Duggar, Juwan Bentley, Christian Gonzalez.
Ooh.
I say those names because those are the starters on a top 5 defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
So yeah, Drake Maye will struggle against them. And I loved this nugget that Andrew Callahan of the Boston Herald put out. He's great at what he does. In 26 less dropbacks, Joe Milton and Drake Maye through 2 padded practices have the same number of interceptions and have been sacked the same amount of times. One guy is going against a starting defense.
That's right.
The other guy is going against 3s and 4s.
There it is.
I don't want to hear about after 2 padded practices putting one in front of the other or even panicking on Drake Maye. We know the timeline for Drake Maye. It's week 7 or week 8 at the earliest. That's how it's trending right now.
Yep.
If it's not till next year, that's fine. The timeline on this team, year 2, year 3. That's when you see dividends play. That's when you see them progressing. That's when you see a big step forward. Year 3, that's when they're going to be a playoff team.
Listen.
To say...
You're going to church right now. I'm catching the Holy Ghost. Go on. Go on. Preach. Get him.
My man, thanks for letting me catch my breath.
Get him.
To say after 2 padded practices, you know what? I think I'd take Joe Milton after Drake Maye is just dumb. That's naive. And it's doing an injustice, and it's mocking the intelligence of one of the smartest sports cities in the world. Because people are sounding the alarms, and they're going, what? And people are falling for the Instagram accounts that I follow as well that put out these graphics of, here's a report from this camp, here's a report from that camp. Go watch them. Go watch Joe Milton at Michigan and Tennessee. Go watch Drake Maye at UNC. I understand why the Patriots drafted both. Drake Maye, because of that ceiling.
Yep.
And I told you right after Joe Milton was drafted,
Yep.
I like it. What is Drake Maye? Big, athletic, great arm.
That's right.
What is Joe Milton? Big, athletic, great arm.
Yep.
It's about playing in the system and being a better NFL quarterback. If they can develop Joe Milton to be a serviceable backup, then say something happens to Drake Maye and he gets knocked out of a game.
Right.
Joe Milton steps in and your offense doesn't have to change.
Then,
that's the vision.
Maybe then you have a quarterback controversy, but only then, not at this stage.
And I still wouldn't say it.
Right.
We've seen it. One guy is working with the backup offensive line, backup receivers against a top 5 defense in the NFL when the defense will always have the head start.
Yep.
The other guy is getting a third of the snaps and finishing with the same amount of interceptions and sacks.
Yeah.
Do not talk to me about Joe Milton after Drake Maye. And I'm putting this out there to Patriots fans to tell you guys. And I'm sorry if I raised my voice and I came off as a little brash.
Don't apologize.
It wasn't directed at you.
Don't apologize.
You guys are smart. I love you guys for listening. I love you guys for watching. Because of diehard fans like you, we get to do what we do every day. I just want you guys to understand it's a patience game with Drake Maye.
Yeah.
When you have the offensive line settled, when you have your receivers figured out,
Yep.
and when Drake Maye's footwork, when his processing, everything is up to speed, then you start him.
Yep.
But just because he's not starting week 1 doesn't mean sound the alarms. And just because someone is saying Joe Milton is doing better than him through 2 padded practices, again, do not sound the alarms. It's about who can be the better pro quarterback. It's not about who can throw the ball further. It's not about who can do a standing backflip. Is that athletic? Is that cool? Awesome. When are you doing backflips on the football field? If you have to use that as an argument point for Joe Milton over Drake Maye, I'm shutting you out.
Yeah, for sure.
In respect to the brilliant people that are on the beat of the Patriots, I read that and I laughed it off. And you know what? I saw my DMs this morning.
Yeah.
I saw my text this morning. And I go, okay, this is something we have to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
Because in Boston, we're smart, but nationally, people don't know, and that's fine.
Yeah, the national, I've seen national shows lead with this story, and I'm like, wow, really? It's not, I don't necessarily have a problem with, Drake Maye struggling early in Patriots training camp. That's not really breaking news to me.
He's on schedule with that team.
Exactly. That's where I'm going. It's not a shock to me at all. And I'm a big Drake Maye. I want Drake Maye starting week 1.
Yeah.
I'm in that camp.
Yeah.
So, and I'm still not shocked by this news, and it still doesn't change my position on that, by the way. But I am shocked by this Joe Milton stuff out of nowhere. That's where I'm like, okay, let's just relax for everything that you said. I mean, the guy is going against, no disrespect here, but players who will likely go back to their regularly scheduled jobs after they get cut at camp. And the other guy's going against 1s and 2s. So you're absolutely right in that. And it's not to say that Joe Milton can't work out. We both liked the draft pick. I ultimately, although I don't believe it'll be here in New England, it could be, but big picture, I think he's going to end up somewhere else. I think New England will develop him, and he'll end up somewhere else getting his opportunity. Could be New England. None of us know the future, but I know this. The future ain't right now. Joe Milton's not going to be anywhere near the starting lineup or a starting quarterback or anything. He's not going to be ahead of Drake Maye on the depth chart. The other thing I want to address here, as you talk to the people who support Foxboro Rush, 2 things. Number 1, this is why you need to watch and listen to Foxboro Rush, because unlike the other shows, we do give you hot takes. I'm not saying we don't give you hot takes, okay? We're going to give you that. But we don't panic. Every time you tune in or listen, you're not going to hear us changing direction every damn time, and this guy needs to go, and that person needs to be fired, you need to start this guy, and then the next episode it's a complete opposite. That's not going to happen. We don't panic around here. Both of us told you when the Patriots drafted Drake Maye, it was going to be a process. He needed work. He's raw. So him struggling early on here at training camp, it's okay. Everyone just exhale, relax. The second thing that's very important, all of you that support us here on Foxboro Rush, I think I speak for all of us as I say this to George with love. 17 friends in a group chat. It's too damn many people. There's no way in hell that 1 through 17 are all getting their thoughts and their feelings met in this group chat.
Bro, you think thoughts and feelings are being taken into account with the way we're chirping each other?
You need to cut that at least in half. No. It's too many. 17's too many damn people in your group chat. And listen, me and the Foxboro Rush Nation, we come to you with love. This is an intervention. You're walking in the room right now and we're saying, George, sit down. We need to talk.
Okay.
And you're like, what's going on? We're like, no. We love you. We're leading with that. We at the Foxboro Rush Nation love you. However, 17 friends in a text chain in a group chat is too damn many people. You need to cut that, man.
That thing is still rolling. It started when we were like juniors in high school about meeting up and going to Gelatis in Little Falls, New Jersey every Sunday and meeting up to hoop. And, dude, when was that? 2011?
17 people.
13 years later, we're still strong, man.
Bro, that's crazy. Y'all need your own TV show.
Now we do not. We do not need people to know that.
Put you in the house like Big Brother. I'd watch it.
It's my boys since day one. And then when I see that stuff going into the chat, I go, hold up. And you know what I said to them, too? And I love it. This is part of why I love the group chat. Convos we have in there. It's like practice for talking to my friends here that listen to Foxboro Rush.
Yep.
What I said to them both, with everyone going, oh, man, Joe Milton over Drake Maye. You know who's better than both of them right now on an NFL roster? Jacoby Brissett. That's your quarterback
Yeah.
right now. That's where your focus should be. It's how Jacoby Brissett's doing in this offense, how that offensive line's performing for him,
Yep.
and how Drake Maye is progressing and going. And Trav, I know it. And I love it about you, bro. Because you keep me in check. You go Drake Maye week 1, and I go Drake Maye week 1 if this happens, right?
Well, you go Drake Maye week 1 next season.
Oh, come on.
That's what you do. That's what you do.
But I even came around. I said maybe week 8 once
Yeah,
we're
you
talking
did.
about offensive line struggles.
You did.
But it's not Drake Maye's immediate right now. And that's why I pulled up what I wrote. And I wasn't the only one with this opinion. He's a project. He lacks processing speed.
Yeah.
That's what has to happen. He's going from college to the pros. He's going
Right.
from North Carolina to Massachusetts.
Right.
There's a lot of change happening.
Yeah.
New receivers, building up that chemistry. Before he connected with Jalen Reagor on that touchdown on day 1, he overthrew him and just simple warm-ups. He overthrew Jalen Polk. Next thing down, he's failing and it's clicking and he's learning. That's what you want from Drake Maye. It's not Drake Maye against Joe Milton. It's Drake Maye against himself.
That's right.
But the focus should be on Jacoby Brissett and Drake Maye. And there's a reason Drake Maye is getting reps against the ones. Baptism by the fire. Go against one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah.
One of the smartest defenses in the league. Led by studs all over. And when it comes to game time, when you finally get your call, man, make practice hard. The games come easy.
Yeah, I think that's well said. I also, listen, let's not go back too far in history, too. I remember Trey Lance with the 49ers. I remember they took him super high. I believe he might have been 3rd overall as well. And the early reports of Trey Lance at camp it was all struggles. I mean, there was just, he wasn't retaining information. He wasn't the footwork. A lot of the things we're dealing with Drake Maye were there for Trey Lance as well. And the difference was then you weren't getting what you just laid out. You weren't getting glimpses, flashes. Hey, he did connect with Reagor on the sideline in a beautiful pass. You also told me you saw touch passes from him when he was there, not
short
just how
crosser to Jalen Polk.
Right.
I saw that and I was like,
That's what I'm
something
saying.
you lay over the linebackers, drop it in,
Yes.
lead your receiver. Good.
That's my point. You
My guy.
also said, look, I did see him tuck it to run a few times. It would have been a sack. He sort of panicked. But I also saw a couple plays where he tucked it to run, and it would have been a big gain because the kid can boogie. I did see the speed. I did see him escape. So we are seeing both. And that's what's a little frustrating with the national narrative. I think locally everybody's covering it well, and I know we have Sean coming on here soon, but, locally we're getting the truth. And you were at the first day of camp.
2 days,
and you
yep.
saw with your eyes. But the national media now is running with this. That's why I use the Trey Lance narrative of he just struggles, and there's nothing good from Drake Maye, and Joe Milton's the man. Please, okay? I mean, we just have to give this, even me, the only guy on this show saying I want Drake Maye week 1. Literally, I'm asking you to have some patience. Give the kid some grace here, would you? He's trying to work through the kinks so I can be right, and he does start week 1. But even if I'm wrong, give the kid some time. And the thing I can't understand for the life of me is we already knew that coming in. Everyone, the general consensus.
Yep.
Caleb Williams, day 1 ready. Jaden Daniels, day 1 ready. Michael Penix Jr., many people felt day 1 ready. Now, he went to a situation that's not going to happen, but many people felt that way. I remember most people feeling like Bo Nix, day 1 ready. No one had Drake Maye day 1 ready. Drake Maye, J.J. McCarthy, and others were thought of as very good, high ceilings, gonna take some time. Let's give them some time. It's been 5 minutes. Everyone just relax. But I will say this, George, because no one's really talking about this. I think this is great news, all of it. I think him struggling at camp is good. I think this narrative now that's going out there that already he's going to be a bust and Joe Milton's some sort of superhero, great, 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 great. You know why? Because how long did we watch a guy in this town in that same position be told you can't, you ain't, you won't, you're no good, you ain't Shaq? And guess what he did? He became the GOAT. So I want to see, Drake, What are you going to do with adversity in your face? What are you going to do with people telling you you ain't worth a damn and that this guy's better than you and you're not picking this up and picking that up? I hope, for the sake of New England, you don't go into a corner and sulk and cry and complain and mope. I hope you grab the football and some other things and go out there and show them how it's done and work harder and get better. That's what I need to see. So this is a good thing in my book. I want to see this. I want to see this kid's mental makeup.
Yep.
I want to see this kid's mettle, because already you've been here 5 minutes. Hey, all those playoff games you were showing up to and partying, that's over now, brother. Now you're in the belly of the beast. Now you see what comes with this position. Now you see the criticism, the pressure, all of the noise placed on you, Drake Maye. What you going to do, man? You going to shrink or you going to stand up? I think he stands up. I think the kid's a stud, and I can't wait till week 1 when I get to see it against the Bengals.